I am not obsessed with Windows 7. Not at all. I am not obsessed with Windows 7 whatsoever. Not at all. Yes, this is a Windows 7 virtual machine. This is not actually my computer. My computer can't run Windows 7. But I installed Windows 7 Ultimate for my videos. So, you're probably asking why I used Windows 7 for all my while I'm going to be using Windows 7 for my videos. For most of my videos from now on. Listen, you're asking the wrong person. Ask my brain, because I don't know. I just do things, and you guys seem to like when I make anything related to Windows 7. So, I'm just going to make more Windows 7 content. And what's the better way to make Windows 7 content than to film all my videos on Windows 7? So, I have Windows Media Center. I mean, like, I paid for, like, any DVD, but why didn't anybody tell me you can just use this? You can just use the Windows Media Center to do that, instead of paying for software. Now, Internet Explorer. You see, this Internet Explorer is awful. It doesn't even work anymore. The only thing it actually works, and plus I'm not connected to the internet. There's a good reason why I'm not connected to the internet. So here's the thing. I like Windows 7. Oh, and if you're wondering how I got the glass effect here, all you have to do to get the glass effect, you install guest editions, you add 3D acceleration, then you click on the Aerial theme, because then it reloads the Windows 7 theme, and then you get the glass effect here. That's how you do it. Personally, this computer has... I wonder if it shows it in system information. I gave this thing slightly better... Okay, so I'd recommend Windows 7 Ultimate. The OS manufacturer, that's thing. System name, Windows 7. System model, VirtualBox. 64-based PC. The AMD Ryzen 5 with 4 cores. Doesn't really need anything. Total physical memory, 7 gigabytes. Available physical memory, 6 gigabytes. Total virtual memory, 15 gigabytes. Available virtual... Anyways, these are kind of... Okay, so here, I'm going to write down all the system information so you know what some good... 7 sys. Okay? So, here are some good settings. So, for RAM, I'm going to say about 8 gigabytes. For storage, we're going to want about 128 gigabytes. Cores, doesn't really matter how many cores you have, but I'd say 4 if you want to have a nice computer. These are, like, recommended settings. Like, you can give Windows 7, like, 4 gigabytes of memory, 1 core, storage of, like, 25 gigabytes. I don't know. I don't know the minimum requirement. These are not the minimum requirements. These are what I use. Video memory is 165 megabytes. These are just the settings of what I use. I use I use VirtualBox guest editions. And really, that's all you would need to know. Oh. In case you're wondering, I do use a floppy disk drive, and not a virtual floppy disk drive. I use an actual floppy disk drive. Like the one you saw in that one YouTube short I posted. So these... I know. Okay, so these are just what I use. Magnifying glass. So these are my system settings. RAM, 8 gigabytes. Storage, 128 gigabytes. Cores, 4. Video memory, 165 megabytes. With VirtualBox guest additions. And a floppy disk drive. But those are just what I use. You don't necessarily have to use what I'm using. You can always customize it. You can give it more. If you have, like, I only gave it 8 gigabytes of memory. I might actually upgrade it to 16 gigabytes of memory. If I upgrade my host system memory, I'm giving it 32 gigabytes of memory. Because at this point, I'm starting to use Windows 7 for pretty much everything I do. Like when I'm writing stuff, when I'm making Word documents, all that stuff, I just use Windows 7 because it's got more features than Windows 11. And plus I'm using the Ultimate Edition, so I have even more than what I already have on actual Windows. Like there's journal documents, there's contacts, you can create bitmap images, you can create a briefcase, rich text document, which I don't even think is in Windows anymore. There's gadgets, screen resolution, personalization right from the start. There's, I love the Windows Glass Arial theme. And, yes, Windows 7 is not secure. It no longer is supported by Windows. But that doesn't mean you can't run it. Listen, there's a reason that we keep the internet off. Because even though this is a virtual machine, I don't want to risk connecting it to the internet. Because just because this is a virtual machine does not mean that my information is not on this virtual machine. Right now, there's none of my information on the virtual machine. But in the future, I might decide to connect something to here. Now, obviously, there's a reason why I don't connect it to the internet. I might put information on here, and I don't want to get hacked. So, you just don't connect Windows 7 to the internet. Safe there. If you need to get something on Windows 7, I'd say use VirtualBox drag and drop. Use a shared folder that only goes one way, or you can use a USB drive. I wouldn't connect it to the internet unless you... no buts, ifs, ands, or buts about it. Just don't connect Windows 7 to the internet. That's what I have to say. Windows 7 is fine to use, but just don't connect it to... Don't expose yourself to unnecessary risk. It's fine using Windows 7, but just don't put yourself at risk. If you want a secure operating system that actually works, I'd recommend Windows 10. And if you missed the Arial Glass theme, there are things like window blinds. Now, window blinds is kind of expensive, not gonna lie. And it only works for like Windows 10 and 11. And then you can get it, and then you get a discount when you upgrade it. But if you really want the Arial Glass theme, I'd recommend window blinds. I have a copy of window blinds, and I think it's installed on my host computer, which is a Windows 11 computer. But that's kind of what I've been doing. So I am going to be filming some videos on Windows 7, because my viewers just seem to like Windows 7. I get positive feedback when I make videos about Windows 7, so I'm going to make all my videos on Windows 7, because it seems to be what everybody likes. So that ends off this kind of long episode, but that's just kind of my view on Windows 11. So, like, subscribe, share, do all three, and I'll see you in the next video coming out, I don't know,